Assalamualaikum everyone, welcome back to this channel. This is me Arya Wahid. You are on the channel of Medicare. So welcome back to this chapter. So as you discussed that we are discussing the antihypertensive drugs and we have discussed all the classification of it. The last classification of antihypertensive drug is the diuretics. You know very well about the hypertensive. So these are the drugs which are used to treat the high blood pressure. So diuretics they are not used properly because they cannot be given to a patient who has renal diseases, but in some cases we can use them. And the diuretics has a broad classification within themselves. So what are diuretics and what they are doing? Let's discuss it. So first of all, diuretics, they are the medication that promotes the diuresis. Diuresis mean increase in the production of urine. So the condition in which your urine production increases, this is called as diuretics. How diuretics are used to treat the hypertension? They not only treat the hypertension but also treat heart failure and edemas. How? Because they are releasing more and more water and salt through your urine. As you know, whenever there is decrease in the volume of blood, there is decrease in the blood pressure, and as a result you can treat a person who has hypertension. So that's why the diuretics are used for that purpose. In the heart failure, because we have to decrease the stress on the heart, so the stress on the heart can be decreased out by decreasing the blood volume or by decreasing the blood pressure. So that's why we can give diuretics to particular patient. Next we will discuss the classification of diuretics. It has been divided into the five groups. The first group is carbonic acid anhydrase inhibitor, loop diuretics, thiazide diuretics, potassium sparing diuretics, and osmotic diuretics. So a lot of classification within itself, but we will discuss only the first classification in it. The first classification is the carbonic anhydrate inhibitors. So the first classification is carbonic hydrate inhibitors. They are also called as CAI. Okay, so they are the inhibitor of carbonic anhydrate. So what are the drugs included in it? So it consists of three drugs: acetazolamide. So zolamide is its family, and acetadora and bring. These are the first words which you have to add upon it. So what is the trick to remember then? acetador bring. यानी आप कोई बंदी है एसिटा, आप उसे कह रहे हैं कि डोर खरीद के लाओ. So aceta please door bring. So what is the acetazolamide? It is a pro type of drug, very commonly used, and it has very good type of effect, so therefore it is most commonly used. But it also has some adverse effect in them. And the second two drugs, dorazolamide and brinzolamide, they are used in the form of eye drops. They are instilled into the eye because it has relation with the eye. It is used in that part also. So but the patient who have anti hypertension, we give this drug to them. Okay, so what is the mechanism? So it is acting on the PCT. What is PCT? It is a proximal convoluting tubule. So one thing you have to remember, I have write them in a order. Like the first drug is acting on PCT, proximal convoluting tubule. Second is acting on the loop of Henle. Third is acting on the thick ascending loop of Henle. Fourth is acting on the early distal convoluting tubule, and the last osmotic diuretics, they are acting on the last part of distal convoluted tubule, which is the late distal convoluted tubule. So I have write them in the order. So the first we have discussed, so it acting on the first part of your nephron, which is this PCT. So here I have drawn a nephron for you. This is the glomerulus capillary or your Bowman's capsule. Then this part is called as proximal convoluting tubule, and within this part I have drawn a lot of capillaries here. So in the loop of Henle, these capillaries are called as vasa recta, and here these capillaries are given because they are getting all the minerals or water which is reabsorbed. So all the reabsorbed material get into these capillaries and move into your blood. So what is the mechanism how they are decreasing your blood pressure? They are not directly decreasing the sodium reabsorption. As you know, whenever there is increase in the sodium reabsorption, there is increase in the blood volume. As a result, blood pressure increases, but they don't directly decrease or increase the sodium reabsorption. They have other mechanisms by which it is decreasing the sodium reabsorption. As a result, it is decreasing the blood pressure. And next important point, it cannot be given in the first line of therapy. The one of the major reason is that due to a complex mechanism of it, therefore it can cause a lot of complication. And the second reason of due to which we not give them as a first line of therapy, because they have very short duration. So a patient who have to take this drug for his lifetime, so we cannot prefer the carbonic anhydrase inhibitors to these patients, because they don't have enough time to take their drug again and again. So therefore we will give them a drug which have a long duration. But carbonic anhydrase, unfortunately, it doesn't has a long duration. Therefore, we cannot give it as a first line of therapy. So, what is doing it? This drug is acting on that part. What is normally occurring in your PCT, in your proximal convoluted tubule? You know very well, this is a part in which 65% of your sodium is reabsorbed back, because sodium is one of the most important electrolyte which is present in your body, and it is controlling a lot of functions. And you know, one of the most important and the most abundant pump which is the present in your body is the sodium potassium pump, which is regulating the concentration of sodium inside your body and outside. So maximum 65% of sodium is reabsorbed here, while the other 25% is reabsorbed through this ascending loop of Henle, and while other 5% is absorbed by this distal convoluting tubule. But these ratios are not 100% correct, because whenever you take the water more, these percentages changes, and whenever you take the salt intake more, these percentage changes. But the total sodium reabsorption percentage is the 100%. 65 plus 25 plus 5 plus 5, it will add up, it will total become equal to 100. So the maximum sodium reabsorption is occurring through that part, and followed by the water reabsorption. As you know, whenever there is a reabsorption of sodium, the water moves because of the osmosis process. As we know, whenever there is an increase in the solute concentration in a particular area, the water moves toward it to compensate that concentration. So let's discuss the whole mechanism, that how it is acting on PCT and how it is controlling the sodium reabsorption and water reabsorption. So let's discuss it with the diagram. So here I have drawn a diagram for you that is very easy to see. As you can see, this is a cell I have drawn. This is a cell of PCT. PCT is your proximal convoluting tubule. I have cutted a cell from it and place it in front of you. Now what I am doing, besides the PCT, I have drawn the tubes like structure. What it is, the first, this tube is called the lumen. So why it is the lumen? Because you know that our this, like, consider it as a proximal convoluting tubule. With this proximal convoluting tubule, this membrane is the cell. So I have picked up this cell and brought it to here, and inside this tube there is a lumen. So all of this shaded part I am drawing to you, this is the lumen. So I have drawn the lumen here, and I extended the membrane of it. Okay, and with this capillary, with this tube, a capillary surround it like that. So this capillary is shown by this tube. Okay, so this is your capillary, this is your lumen, this is your cell. Now there is these, all of the membranes of this lumen, this cell and this capillary, they are connected with what? With a pump. Various kind of pumps are present here, like this is a pump here, this is also present, and this is also present. They have different functions, so they are connecting each other. first of all, through your this lumen, okay, through this lumen, all the filtrate from the Bowman's capsule came into PCT. Okay, so this filtrate contain a lot of things. It contain the waste material, it contain the sodium, it contain potassium, it contain water, it contain bicarbonate. All of the ions, all of the minerals are present in it. Now we have to absorb it. Now first I will explain the normal physiology, then I will explain the pathophysiology and how the drug is acting on it. So the first, as you can see, the sodium comes into the lumen. This sodium will reabsorb by a potassium by a pump which is present here. This pump is called sodium proton pump. So due to the exchange of sodium here, a hydrogen, a proton moves here into the lumen. So this hydrogen will excreted out. But not only this hydrogen is excreted out, actually this hydrogen will makes a bond with the bicarbonate present in the lumen. So as I have said that the bicarbonate is also present in that lumen. So when the hydrogen comes, it from the bond, so it will make a acid which is called as carbonic acid, H2CO3. It is a carbonic acid. Now carbonic acid is not stable. It dissociates into what? Into two parts. The first part is your carbon dioxide and second is water. Now your carbon dioxide can diffuse easily through your membrane. It doesn't need any kind of proton pump. Yes, it need an enzyme for its diffusion, and this enzyme is called as carbonic anhydrase enzyme. So it helping in the carbon dioxide to move in this cell. Okay, so after moving into the cell, the water which is already present in that cell, they will combine. Water plus carbon dioxide, they combine to give again the acid which is called as carbonic acid. Now carbonic acid is again dissociated with the help of enzyme which is called as carbonic anhydrase enzyme into the hydrogen and into bicarbonate. Now this hydrogen is again taken up by this proton pump called as potassium sodium hydrogen या proton pump. Now as you can see here, the sodium which is reabsorbed here, this is the 65% of your sodium. Now this 65% of sodium goes to what part? This sodium goes to this channel which is present here. It will reabsorb and the potassium will move to here. So this proton pump is called as sodium potassium ATPase pump. So due to the movement of sodium here, the water also moves to capillary. So sodium and water concentration inside the capillary increases out. As a result, the blood volume increases and the blood pressure increased out. And similarly, the potassium will moves into the cell. So as a result of hypokalemia can happens because more and more potassiums move into this lumen and excreted out through your body. Second, this bicarbonate ion which forms through this, it will move to this capillary as exchange of chloride. So this channel is called as bicarbonate chloride channel. So through this channel, the bicarbonate is also moved inside your body, causing change in the pH and causing metabolic acidosis. So metabolic acidosis is a condition in which the pH of your body decreases out. So that's why this is the normal physiology which is occurring inside your body. Now the blood pressure increase in this patient, and this patient is become the patient of hypertension. Now we will give the drug to him. Suppose we have give this patient the drug of diuretics, and we have given him the first class of the drug which is the carbonic anhydrase enzyme. Now what this drug is doing to here, so as you can see here, an enzyme is present which name is as carbonic anhydrase enzyme. So this inhibitor, this drug will go and inhibit this enzyme, so it will block the function of this enzyme. Now as you know the function of this enzyme is responsible for the carbon dioxide diffusion. Now carbon dioxide cannot diffuse. This enzyme function is to break down the carbolic acid Now it cannot do that. As a result, sodium cannot make an influx due to unavailability of hydrogen. The bicarbonate cannot move here, the sodium cannot move here. As a result, there will be decrease in the reabsorption of sodium and water. There is decrease in the reabsorption of bicarbonate. As a result, blood volume decreases out and the blood pressure decreases. So that's how this drug is going to act inside your body. So now let's discuss that what is the therapeutic use of it. We have discussed that it used in the heart failure, it used to treat the hypertension, but this drug has a lot of other uses. So let's see what it has other beneficial effects. So first effect is very simple. Acha, we have two types of carbonic anhydrases enzyme. First is membrane bounded and second is cytoplasmic. So this enzyme, as you can see here, this is a membrane bounded enzyme, and this enzyme is present in the cytoplasm. So it doesn't mean it is membrane bounded or it is cytoplasmic. Your carbonic anhydrase drug will block both of these type of these enzymes. So let's discuss their therapeutic use. So they are used in the heart failure to decrease the stress of the heart, to decrease the blood pressure, and all of that. They are used to treat the hypertension by decreasing sodium or water reabsorption, decreasing the blood pressure. And the next disease in which they are used is the motion sickness. In the motion sickness, whenever our eyes are seeing something else and our vestibular apparatus is saying something else. So as a result, there is increase in the vestibular sensitivity. As a result, your vestibular apparatus, it has two receptors on it, histamine receptor and muscarinic receptor. These two receptors, after the binding with the histamine or acetylcholine, they will send messages to your brain, to your CTZ area, to your chemo trigger zone. As a result, they increase the signals toward the vomiting center, and the vomiting center, it again a very important part of your brain. It increase the vomiting sensation by increasing the pressure on your abdominal muscle, by increasing the contraction of diaphragm. So it is putting the pressure on your abdomen. As a result, the GIT content will move out through your mouth and the vomiting occurs. So we use this drug in the motion sickness, because it decreases the sensitivity of vestibular apparatus. So it will block the signals which is sent by vestibular apparatus to your brain, to your CTZ area, to your vomiting center. As a result, vomiting cannot occur. Second disease which it's used to treat is the altitude sickness. Altitude sickness is just similar to the motion sickness. How? Altitude mean to go on the high altitude. High altitude mean if you go to the mountain side. So whenever you go there, you will feel that there is decrease in the supply of oxygen. Whenever there is decrease in the supply of oxygen, the patient cannot breathe properly. So as a result, the altitude sickness will happens to him. So what is going to here, as he goes to the mountain side or increase in the altitude, the vomiting can occur because the patient cannot breathe properly. He got very low oxygen supply. Now if he is facing all of these symptoms, we will give carbonic anhydrase inhibitor to that patient. Now what this drug is doing inside that, this drug decrease the bicarbonate reabsorption, as we have see here. Now after blocking this enzyme, now bicarbonate cannot diffuse it. As a result, there is decrease in this reabsorption, and as a result, now there is decrease in the pH, which cause the metabolic acidosis. And as a result, this metabolic acidosis will sense by our chemoreceptors. They send signals to your lungs. So now you think that what is the relation between them? Because we have to increase the oxygen supply, therefore we are sending signals to the lungs that to increase the respiration. So lungs will increase the respiratory rate, it will increase the inspiration, it will increase the expiration process. As a result, the patient will take increase the breath deep. Now the patient take the breath deeply, like if I am doing that, So this is a deep breath. So I have taken a deep breath. So as a result, there will be increase in the oxygen supply, increase in the tidal volume. So the hyperventilation occur because oxygen supply is more and more respiratory rate is occurring. So now as a result, the carbon dioxide exhalation is also increased. If we increase the inhalation, we also increase the exhalation. We have increased a lot of carbon dioxide outside, so more and more carbon dioxide released through your body. As a result, the carbon dioxide which is present here at that part, it decreases out. And it also used to treat the metabolic acidosis. As a result, metabolic acidosis also treated out. Now it also used in other like fluid diuresis. If a patient who have a lot of water in his body, we have to decrease the water, so we will give fluid diuresis. Like the patient who have the edema, so in edema what is going to happen, a lot of fluid is uh, stored in various body part, in the peripheral body parts, in the lungs, a lot of fluid is stored. We have to release that fluid, so we will increase the water excretion by increasing the sodium excretion. As a result, we get these results. Next, it also used to treat intraocular pressure. That's very important. The patient who have high intraocular pressure, these patients are called as, or this disease is called as glaucoma. In the glaucoma patient, due to increase in the aqueous humor, this is a type of fluid which is released by your ciliary bodies present inside your eye, so due to which intraocular pressure is high. So means a fluid which is present in your eye and its pressure is increased. So you know a fluid is produced in our eye. If its pressure increase out, then the patient occur and face the glaucoma disease. Now we will give this drug to the patient of glaucoma. How this drug is doing here? So actually it inhibits the carbonic anhydrase enzyme present in the eye. So not only carbonic anhydrase enzyme is not only present inside your nephron, it also present in your eyes. So and causing the production of aqueous humor, and as a result increase the pressure, intraocular pressure. But if we give this drug which going to inhibit the carbonic anhydrase enzyme, as a result bicarbonate reabsorption decrease, aqueous humor will decrease, and as a result the pressure will also decrease out. So that's how we treat the patient of glaucoma through this drug. Now let's discuss the next type of disease which treat by that drug. So next we will also use that drug to decrease or to reduce the intracranial pressure. Intra mean inside, cranial mean our cranium, our brain, okay, and pressure mean the pressure inside our brain. So what do you think? What fluid can increase the pressure inside your brain? Yes, you are right. CSF, cerebral spinal fluid. It is a fluid which is present in your brain, help to protect your brain, okay, from a lot of injuries. It is protecting it and also decrease the friction here. So also protecting all the layers of your brain which are protecting. We have discussed the meninges here. So this fluid is produced by an enzyme which is called as carbonic anhydrase enzyme. This enzyme is actually producing this CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. Whenever there is increase in the production of CSF, there is increase in this intracranial pressure. So now we have to decrease it. How we decrease it? By giving carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, by giving this drug. So what it is going to do in them, it will decrease or it will inhibit carbonic anhydrase enzyme. As a result, there is decrease in the production of CSF and there is decrease in the intracranial pressure. So the next we will discuss the pharmacokinetics of that drug. As I explained, we give them orally. The first drug, which is the acetazolamide, it is given orally and its absorption is very good. But the other two drugs, which is zolamide and bring bring zolamide. These two drugs are topical apply on your eye. As I've explained that we give this drug to the patient who have intraocular pressure. So we will not give them the orally drug. We will give them as a eye drop, and the eye drops of two drugs are given: Dor zolamide and bring zolamide. We will give them these patient these eye drops. They will put in your eye, and as a result, the glaucoma will treat out. Their intraocular pressure will decrease. Next, pharmacokinetics is it has very short duration, therefore we cannot give them as a first line of therapy. I have already explained that point. The next is the adverse effect. You know, every drug has an adverse effect. So these uh, carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, they also has adverse effect that they can cause metabolic acidosis, decrease the pH of your body. They can cause hypokalemia because decreasing the reabsorption of sodium. They also decrease the potassium reabsorption by inhibiting the pump. As a result, the potassium is more and more excreted out through your body. If the potassium moves out to your body, then there is a hypokalemia inside your body. So the potassium concentration inside your body will decrease. So as a result, you will face the hypokalemia situation. Next, they can cause urinary alkylation. Urinary mean your urine. Alkalination mean increase in the pH of urine. So they are decreasing the pH of your body, no doubt they are doing that, but increase the pH of urine. Why? Because metabolic acidosis occur because of decrease in HCO3 negative bicarbonate ion. But now inside your urine there is increase in HCO3, because if the body has this low concentration, it means it is secreted out through your body. So it means the urine through urine the bicarbonate ion is released. Inside the urine the bicarbonate concentration is increased. So whenever there is increase in the bicarbonate ion concentration, there is increase in the pH. As a result, urinary alkylation will happen. So due to which sometimes the calcium precipitation can occur. So calcium is a ion which is present in your body. It can precipitate out inside your nephrons, inside your kidney. As a result, due to its precipitation, the renal stone can form. So this is the adverse effect of this drug. The next adverse effect is the ammonium toxicity. As you know, through your lumen, along with the sodium, along with the water, along with the bicarbonate, along with the hydrogen proton, your ammonia is also released through it. So your ammonia can absorb through your lumen, because when the hydrogen act with this ammonia, it will form NH4 positive, which is a polar. It has charge on it. Now it cannot be absorbed. So now if it cannot be absorbed, it excreted out, because now it is cannot be absorbed. So ammonium cannot be absorbed is our beneficial. It cannot be absorbed, as a result it excreted out. But due to by giving this drug, this ammonia increase in the blood, because now it cannot combine with the hydrogen. It cannot form a charge, due to which this uncharged ammonia it can be absorbed. As a result, it doesn't excrete it out. It will move inside your blood and cause the brain damage, because ammonia is a very dangerous chemical for your brain and for your other body parts. Next adverse effect, they can cause GIT disturbance like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, etc. The next two these adverse effects are caused by a drug which is called acetazolamide, which is given orally. The first adverse is paresthesia. Paresthesia is a abnormal sensation in which the patient feel the pricking of pins and needles inside anywhere part of your body. Like the patient mostly feels like the pins and needles are pricking to him at the arms and mostly at the legs part. So this sensation or this particular adverse effect can occur due to these drugs because they damage the nerves of your body. So as a result, the patient will feel these sensations. The next, they can cause taste adulteration, mean the taste will change out, the patient cannot enjoy the food taste. Okay, so next we will discuss the contraindication of this drug, that we what kind of patient that in which we cannot give particular these drugs to that patient. So let's see it. So the first contraindication, that we cannot give this drug to a patient who has severe renal disorders, because carbonic anhydrase, they have mainly work in your inside your nephrons, and nephrons is inside your renal, inside your kidney. So the patient who have already kidney disorder, we cannot give them to this drug to that patient. And we cannot give the patient who have already hypersensitivity to that kind of drug. We cannot give these drugs to a patient who have liver disorder, who have COPDs, mean chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, because it also has a function on the lungs. When we have discussed the altitude sickness, so we have discussed descent signals to your lungs, as a result increase in the ventilation. So the patient who have already compromised lung, we cannot give them these drugs to them, because it can cause severe complications for them. Next thing is, we cannot give this drug to a patient who have already electrolyte imbalance, like a patient who have already hypokalemia. If we give this drug to him, a severe kind of hypokalemia will occur to him. And kalemia mean potassium is the one of the most important electrolyte, which is very beneficial for your heart functioning. So if the potassium concentration is decreased out, it will cannot now your heart cannot functions properly. So next, this is a very important question for the viva point of view, and this question is, why we give beta blockers. So sorry for it. So the question is, why we give beta blockers and diuretics in combination with direct vasodilators. So direct vasodilators are the another class of drug which is given to a patient who have hypertension. So what is happening? Actually, after giving the direct vasodilators inside your body, a complementary system start, which as a result increase your blood pressure. So this is a opposite compensatory mechanism. So how it is working? Let's see it. So if you give the vasodilator drug to your patient, it will cause vasodilation. As a result, blood pressure will decrease. But now other kind of complementary systems start, like this is a again complementary system, this is a complementary system, and this is a whole complementary system, and as a result they are increasing the blood pressure. But how they are doing that, let's see on it. The first mechanism we are discussing, this how this pathway adopt. So your blood pressure decrease. Now this decreased blood flow go to your kidney, so your kidney will receive low blood flow. And about the kidney is the second most abundant organ present inside your body, who gave second abundant blood flow. So like the liver is the first organ who get maximum percent of blood, and after the liver, the kidney is the second most abundant organ which get maximum blood flow. Now decreased blood flow goes to the renal. As a result, there is decrease in the sodium excretion. Sodium will not move outside your body. It means sodium retention increases, mean more and more sodium present inside your body. As a result, blood volume increase and the blood pressure increases out. Now this is the second complementary system, which is like that. So blood pressure decrease, and inside your kidney the Jg cells are present, which in response to the less blood pressure release the renin. Renin is the one of the most important chemical, which after the release stimulate the renin angiotensin system. Renin angiotensin 2 is produced after some steps. I am not repeating that. So renin angiotensin 2 is an important vasoconstrictor which is present in your body. So after the vasoconstriction is caused increase in the blood pressure. Not only it causes the vasoconstriction, also it stimulate the adrenal gland to release aldosterone. Aldosterone increase the sodium reabsorption. Now if the sodium reabsorption increase, whenever there is increase in the sodium and water reabsorption, blood volume increase, and as a result increase in the blood pressure. So you can say it again go back to it, because now the blood flow decrease and all of these things are present. So you can move this to that part. Okay, so next complementary system is this part. So let's discuss it. So whenever your blood pressure is low, the baroreceptors are the specific kind of receptor which are present inside your body. So what is the function of the baroreceptors? So these are the receptor which sense the decrease or increase in the blood pressure. So now they are sensing the decrease in the blood pressure, they will send signals to your sympathetic nervous system. As a result, the sympathetic nervous system, it increases its activity. And now what is the function of sympathetic nervous system? It will go send signals to increase the renin secretion. As a result, whole this cascade will occur. They will also cause the vasoconstriction of blood vessels and increase the blood pressure. They will also send signals to your heart to increase the heart rate. As a result, cardiac output increase, and due to cardiac output, your blood pressure will increase. They will also send signals to your heart to increase the contraction. As a result, cardiac output increase. Due to cardiac output, the blood pressure will increase out. So that's why this is a complementary system present inside your body, which playing important role to regulate how whether you are giving a vasodilator, your blood pressure is increased, and how it is doing that. So now we will discuss how the beta blockers, the diuretics, what they are doing in that process. So actually I have drawn here a dark shaded part in these. So on this dark shaded part I have written the DD. So here I am giving the diuretics to that patient. So blood pressure decrease with the combination of vasodilator, I have given the diuretics. Due to the diuretics, it will block these signals to your renal. As a result, there is decrease in the sodium reabsorption. We have discussed that how the diuretics is acting through your sodium reabsorption, and also it decrease this part as it is decreasing the sodium reabsorption. How it is doing that, we have discussed the function of diuretics in that lecture. So if you don't understand this concept, move video back and again listen to that lecture. So the next is we have also given the beta blockers. So what are the function of beta blocker? Very simple. The beta blockers are acting on that part in on which I have written the BBB. So this is beta blocker. So I am giving the beta blocker along with the vasodilator. So beta blocker will go and doesn't allow to send signals or to increase the renin secretion. If the renin is not released, the whole this cascade will not happen. And also beta blockers act on the heart. Beta 1 blockers block the heart rate. As a result, cardiac output will not increase, the blood pressure will not increase out. If I am giving beta blockers, they also act on the heart, decrease the heart contraction by blocking the receptors present on the heart contractile cells. As a result, heart contraction decreases out, cardiac output decrease, and the blood pressure will decrease out. So that's why we cannot give the vasodilator to particular patient alone. We cannot give only a single vasodilator to a drug to a patient who is hypertensive. We should have to give him the diuretics, we should have to give him the beta blocker, because if we don't give him the beta blocker, whole this cascade will occur, and as a result his blood pressure will increase out. So therefore the important function of diuretics are given here. They will decrease whole this cascade. The beta blockers will decrease whole this cascade and protect you from increasing the reflex increase in the blood pressure. So this was all about the today's lecture. I hope that you will enjoy this lecture. If you like it, then please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and if you have some confusion still left, then definitely you can leave a comment for me. You will can write up the question in the comment box, and I will check it and give answer to you. Thank you so much. Meet you soon in the next lecture. Till up, Allah Hafiz.